Hello everyone, welcome to Movies Zone YouTube channel. My Friend Dahmer 2017 movie reviews before he come to be killed in prison with the resource of the usage of a few different inmate in 1994. Jeffrey Dahmer's crimes captured America's hobby through the apparently boundless nature of his depravity. The Milwaukee-born serial killer claimed 17 patients in advance than he come to be apprehended with the resource of the usage of police in his hometown. It's likely unsurprising that Dahmer located up next to no fight at the same time as the arresting officers knocked on his door. Accompanied with the resource of the usage of a would possibly be victim he'd permit escape. He regarded prepared for them, had made no try to cover the evidence of his previous murders, nor the body factors with inside the fridge. He shuffled throughout the rental, blind to the personal location of the officers whom he breezed past, handing out bits of evidence they asked for with inside the room. He did now no longer struggle until it come to be easy that there was no getting out of the situation. Anyone who knew Dahmer as a toddler would possibly have recognized the despondent body language. Dahmer in no way grew past his miserable, depressed teenage self. He'd certainly channeled his alienation into unspeakable mutilation and sexually charged murder. It's that teenage self that occupies Mark Meyer's first-rate and disturbing My Friend Dahmer, based totally completely on the image novel with the resource of the usage of cartoonist, artist John Bechdorf. Who knew Dahmer as a toddler? There had been many one-of-a-type films, now no longer to mention books and articles, about Dahmer such as The Dahmer Files, an intriguing, laconic documentary about his arrest, and David Jacobson's Dahmer, which goes once more through his history, ultimately arriving at his first murder, the strangulation of Stephen Hicks in 1978. My Friend Dahmer ends in reality in advance than Hicks' murder, in search of to get a restore on the 18-12 months antique who decided to take a stranger to his parents' abandoned house. The movie shies far from easy psychoanalysis of the murderer, choosing alternatively to permit the goal marketplace draw their very own conclusions. The movie fortuitously could now no longer try and make it seem as a leave-in though bullying, alcoholism, his parents' divorce, his burgeoning homosexuality, or perhaps a cocktail of the above, have been chargeable for his actions. He might also had been mentally ill, but he rejected help and decided on violence and antisocial behavior at every turn. When we meet Jeffrey Dahmer, Ross Lynch, he's in reality north of being a whole outcast at university. He quietly hates his most effective buddy Oliver, Jack DeVillers, and won't upward push up for him at the same time as bullies attack. Because of the truth if they may be selecting on someone else, which means they will go away the quiet, roadkill collecting Dahmer alone. His parents, Anne Hesh and Dallas Roberts, fight so regularly that their eventual separation looks as if a blessing. A risk stumble upon sooner or later of class with the more youthful John Bechdorf. Alex Wolff devises the tone for his very last 12 months of a moderate university. Durf and his close-to-circle of pals recognize Dahmer's fearless disruptions of social norms. He pretends to have fits of mentally disturbed behavior in class and in public places. A ordinary overall performance the kids dub, doing a Dahmer, and simply so they make him their mascot, and base at the least a semester of realistic jokes spherical his willingness to degrade himself for laughs. As Dahmer lines extra tough for laughs and approval that don't manifest, he starts off evolved ingesting heavily. While Durf and his institution broaden the judgment of proper and incorrect about their treatment of their buddy, whom they slowly realize is greater disturbed than they imagined. Of course, they did now no longer get a first-hand take a look at his mother's degrading highbrow state, his dependency of killing and chemically skinning animals, or his fixation on a hunky neighbor, Vincent Kartheiser. It appears the very last problem Dahmer wishes from them is an apology or pity. What he wishes is to damage someone, And it grows increasingly more easy. It might now no longer count number who that appears to be. Beyond every atypical gesture is the information that this unhinged hulking youngsterager will start killing at the same time as the curtain falls on this financial disaster of his lifestyles. The film could now no longer forecast his crimes, refusing to reveal risk into clues. There's a bit of know-how queasiness at the same time as his father buys him the weights he is going to later use to kill Stephen Hicks, but the film could now no longer show the crime. So it might now no longer sign up as something apart from tragic twist of destiny for those with inside the know. Myers is greater interested in rendering the environment and deteriorating stability of a out-of-place kid. The saturated colors, which can be lovely although simplest, a plethora of 70s browns and beiges, fill every room with portent and a beauty that looks purposely incongruous. There's a composition near the begin of the film at the same time as Dahmer tries and fails to affect classmates in his shed entire of jarred animal remains. It's far every haunting and grammatically sudden. The coming close to moonlight has grew to come to be the wooded area deep, almost neon green, while the orange light, whole with Toby Hooper lens flare, of the exposed halogen bulb setting from the roof of the shack bisects the body, showing truly the natural darkness Dahmer refuses to acknowledge, further to shrouding him in silhouette in a dark wooden cabin like a malevolent boogeyman figure. For a few seconds the movie looks as if it's far about to reveal into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but obviously Lifestyles is in no way that easy to determine, and the film in no way makes it that easy to situate yourself in Dahmer's story. He ought to have decided on to talk about his problems at any component, and this can had been a very one-of-a-type story. That kind of quiet intelligence animates the film at every turn. Ross Lynch is eerie and sudden as Dahmer, despite the fact that his constantly hunched posture and Frankenstein gait seem a hint too large. Look at his eyes sooner or later of the scene wherein Durf indicates he turn out to be their mascot, darting once more and forth as a leaven, though delight is so remote places to him that he is calling his thoughts for some one-of-a-kind emotion to replace it. His seams of longing at Carthizer's drive, Matthews are also diverse and rich, in no way speak me something as clean as lust. He sees a few component greater in this man than in reality the answer to the puzzle that is his sexuality. When he manages to trick Matthews into giving him a physical under faux pretenses, the scene ricochets from glee to disgust as he discovers his more youthful patient's motives. It's an unnerving but oddly shifting scene and shows the minor problems that turn out to be monolithic trials at the same time as you're more youthful. Hesh and Roberts do similarly sudden artwork as Dahmer's squabbling, uninvolved parents. Roberts' usually downtrodden Lionel Dahmer's hangdog approach to very own family is so easy to understand and sympathize with. And Hesh reveals a shape of dignity for the truly unwell Joyce that keeps their white noise arguments constantly appealing and understandable. In short, Myers recreates Dahmer's International so very well that you do now no longer go away with questions, despite the fact that the large one remains purposely unanswered. There isn't always something in this expertly drawn individual. Have a take a look at that attempts to clear up the mystery of Jeffrey Dahmer. Because of the truth, Lifestyles now no longer regularly arms us those answers. The Dahmer who permit the police into his rental at age 30. Now no longer capable of anticipate his coming close to arrest until it's far too late. Come to be, it seems that obviously, despite the fact that the kid who made a scene at university each time possible, it come to be in no way about how he come to be handled with the resource of the usage of one-of-a-kind people, it come to be typically about H.